The widespread staff reductions in a certain region's economy are said to be causing people who still have their jobs to cut back on new purchases as though they too had become economically distressed. Clearly, however, actual spending by such people is undiminished because there has been no unusual increase in the amount of money held by those people in savings account. Well, it's assuming that if they're not spending, then it must be in the savings account, could be elsewhere, right?
Yes.
So let's see. People in the region who continue. I'm gonna come back to people. Oh, that seemed like it could work, right? Because that's one example of why it wouldn't be in a savings account. Maybe they're paying off their debt. But let me just come back to that. Okay.
Wait, so sorry. I really, you got to our, I think you said our conclusion that actual spending by such people is undiminished. Why are we saying it's undiminished?
Because there's no unusual increase. There's no significant increase in the savings account. So they're assuming that if people truly are holding back on new purchases, there must be more money in their savings account. And because there's not significant increases in their savings account, they can't be holding back on purchases.
Yeah, why is that ridiculous?
Because there could be other ways, other channels of using that money. Just because they're not spending it doesn't mean it has to be in a savings account. Maybe they're doing other things with it.
Okay, yeah, excellent. All right, so let's go. Okay, perfect. So then
we can't assume that just because there's no increase in their savings account, they're not holding back any purchases, because maybe they are, but they're just channeling that money in a different path, in a different use.
Excellent.
Okay. So when I initially saw A, I was like, now I was like, wait, what? But now I actually think it potentially could be the right answer. I haven't looked at the other ones, only because it's saying that, what is it saying? If people in the region continue to have, yeah, because that could be maybe the people, instead of putting the money in the savings account, are paying off their debt.
Yeah, because you negated it essentially.
Yeah.
This negated version destroys our argument, because it's like while they're not putting in their savings account, they're paying off their debt. So this would need to be true. But yes, so let's continue on.
Okay. People in the region who continue to be employed and who have relatives who have lost their jobs commonly assist those relatives. Well, this is also another way that another reason why maybe there's no increase in their savings account, because they're helping their family. Okay, I guess leave B. C, if people in the region who have lost jobs.
Okay, but let's look at the difference between these two.
Yeah.
So does this, okay, so the difference is A says not now, and we negated it to destroy it. Where B is saying they are commonly assisting those relatives financially. This does not need to be true, because this the not negated version of this doesn't make sense. We don't need this.
When you're talking about all the negated versions, is it because for a necessary assumption, if you negate the correct answer, it should destroy the argument?
Yes.
Is that what you're talking
about?
And
that's why A works, because A actually says they're not putting it into savings accounts. And so that needs to be true, because if we negate it and we say that they are paying off their debt, that destroys our argument.
Right.
Where B is just saying they're spending money to help with others. That isn't.
So if we negate B, what would it be? It would be do not
commonly. That doesn't destroy, them not commonly does not destroy our argument.
Yeah, it's true. I think the real reason part of the reason I think I'm confused is because B makes it a concrete fact, right? This is something that people are doing, is they are spending some money helping their relatives. But then A says if the people.
Do they need to be spending money to commonly assist those relatives, though, in order for a conclusion to be true? B would.
I guess Nicole, is it because commonly assist those relatives financially is very general? Maybe that's just giving $5 a week or something. Is that why?
If B were true, it would actually weaken our conclusion.
Wait, really?
Yeah, people in the region who continue to be employed and who have relatives who have lost their jobs commonly assist those relatives financially.
But how does that weaken? Because isn't that a way then to show?
Actually spending by such, yes, it doesn't weaken your conclusion, but it's not needed, because there could be other ways that Wait, actual spending by such people is, I'm sorry. Okay, I think this one also depends on like, is assisting your relatives, is that like,
Like, what does that mean,
is
right?
that
Like,
considered spending? Because I said it weakened it because I considered that not spending.
I considered that spending because I thought assist those relatives financially means you're helping them financially, right?
I took it as like, I put it in the same cat, like helping, like giving, like the same category as like saving. Like, so I think that's where I was like confused. Either way, this answer is wrong because um we don't need to give money to relatives in order for our conclusion to be true. It could make it true, but it's not needed. Because what, like, why can't they just like be, like we said, paying off their debt or putting money into a 501k?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I just had a light bulb moment after hearing your last sentence because a necessary assumption is something that must be true. Like, it's not that it could be true, it absolutely has to be true, right?
Yes,
And B doesn't have to be true. Like, it could be true, and maybe that's why there's no increase in the savings account,
exactly, but
but
it's
it
not
doesn't have to
necessary.
be that. And so we wouldn't assume that that's what's happening because it doesn't have to be that.
Where A, we said that the actual answer says they're not putting money into they're not paying off their
And
debt.
that has to be true.
That
Like,
has to be
absolutely
true.
must be true.
Yes.
Right. Like, that's not just a could be true, that's a must be true.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, when you said that last sentence, it was just like a light bulb moment. Widespread. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Regions. Okay. And so I just want to look at the other answers out of curiosity.
No, of
So
course.
roll them out and if to make sure that I can explain why they're wrong. If people in the region who have lost jobs get new jobs, the new jobs generally pay less well. Then I mean, this doesn't have anything to do with why there's no
Yeah,
income,
about
right?
whether they're saving money or not.
And then D, people in the region who continue to be employed are pessimistic about their prospects for increasing their income. I guess this is another one kind of like
We
B,
don't
right? Like,
care how they feel,
yeah.
unfortunately.
um, actually, can you unhighlight it for a second? Quick question. I thought, is this an assumption? Because like sometimes I feel like I add too much onto the answers. I thought what it was trying to get at is, well, if they're pessimistic, then they're going to save more. Like, they're not going to spend as much, right? Is that like a
Right. Well,
question?
you're assuming that like it's not needed. They don't have to, like, so people in the region who continue to be employed are pessimistic. Like, well, what happens if the people who continue to be employed are not pessimistic? Like, not like how they feel does not determine if whether people that lost their jobs,
Mhm.
or is it people that lost their job causing people who still have, oh, sorry, whether or not they're pessimistic or not doesn't mean that their spending is actually the same.
Right. I guess 'cause, like, feelings don't mean something about action necessarily,
Yeah.
right? Okay. There exist no statistics about sales of goods, and this just seems irrelevant.
Exists, yeah, we
Yeah,
don't need to have
because we don't care
statistics
that
in order
we
for
don't
it.
have statistics.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well,
Excellent.
that was an interesting one.